Thanks for tuning in to the Palm Beach Podcast, a weekly show highlighting people making a positive impact in our community. With your hosts, sports chiropractor and athletic trainer, Dr. James Spencer, photographer and art director, Mike Jones. Our show is brought to you by Pumphouse Coffee Roasters, the Lotus Travel Company, Hopportunities Self-Serve Beer Hall, and the Bishop's Water Company. Hello and welcome to the Palm Beach Podcast. My name is Mike Jones, hanging out at Media Zone with a couple cool dudes. Dr. James Spencer, how you doing today, buddy?
Always a pleasure to see you on a beautiful South Florida day.
Sun shining and beach vibes here in the studio.
Yeah, and a couple of local beach bums, Mike. We got Will and Scott of the Bumruk. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so tell us about the backpack, how it got started, and share with the listeners.
Sure. So it was just about a year ago. My cousin Will here moved in with me in West Palm in my extra bedroom. And it was around the pandemic, so we had a lot of free time, basically daily bike rides to the beach. And we'd show up to the beach with a backpack, sit down for a few minutes. After a sore bum, we were like, time to get at it. What do you want to do now?
Yeah.
So, a few more of those bike ride brainstorming sessions, and the idea for the Bumruk was born.
So it's a like an all-in-one type beach bag. Talk about the chair, like how does it all work?
Exactly. So we basically get to the beach and we needed a place to keep our beers because, when you get to the beach, you want to have something to drink, and then we also need somewhere to sit. So we were like, well, what if we could combine a backpack to carry our beers as well as a chair, something to sit in, so while we're at the beach we're comfortable, we have a place to sit, but as well as a beverage to sip on while we're there. So we started brainstorming, and we eventually, this is what we designed, and we can go into a little bit about how we designed it.
Yeah, we remember our grandfather had a chair on his sailboat back in the day that was very similar to the base of the design. It was just a floor chair that would fold flat for storage, thick, fat cushions. So we ordered a couple of those on Amazon, cut them up in my living room, brought it to a local welder to kind of make it a little more compact, found some foam. And after literally working on the prototype in my living room for a few months, the first prototype was born. And we basically went from there, eventually got in contact with a manufacturer and obviously improved upon the design a little bit, and it's been basically working our bums off every day to make it a reality finally. And we just finished up our Indiegogo campaign, basically raising money for our first round of production. We raised almost $150,000 now in pre-orders, which will allow us to fund that first purchase order with the manufacturer, and we should have them delivered to all our backers by the end of the summer.
That's awesome, and I love the neoprene style too.
Thanks. Yeah.
It's like wetsuit material, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the idea behind the neoprene was we needed something that was going to be sand wicking, and we thought, why don't we make it the same material that wetsuits are made out of? So we basically started looking around for backpacks online that had that same perk and capability, and we found one, and then kind of went from there.
It was the first cover we had made was, we found a local wetsuit manufacturer down in Lauderdale, and he literally just made a custom skin for us, and then we sewed a backpack on ourselves, and that was the first prototype.
It's beautiful to hear, a thought, a vision, truly become a reality in less than a year. And I know Mike and I can tip our caps to you just for really just doing it.
It's been a lot of fun. Yeah. Will and I have always had kind of brainstorming sessions, always, going back family vacations each summer. We'd always, come up with some crazy idea, but never had the time to see it through. And now it's been a lot of fun finally putting in the work and making it happen.
Well, it reminds me of the time that we did the ammo box water housing. So it was like, of course I had a camera, but I didn't want to spend like $2,000 on a water housing for it. And I'm like, wait, I saw the ammo boxes are obviously like waterproof because the ammo can't get wet. And so we just literally like dremeled a hole, like epoxy glued a piece of like clear plastic over the front and just sat the camera in the ammo box and locked it down.
That's awesome.
Hit record, locked it down, and just ran into the ocean with it.
Genius.
But it's cool to have like, you know, those moments where you're tinkering, you're finding something, and kudos to you guys for just going and doing it, man.
Yeah, so this is not only a backpack, it's obviously a towel holder, and then this will fold down into a chair too, right?
Yeah, so you got the 2 buckles on the side there. The chair will open flat, like 180 degrees. And then you've got, as you close it, you've got 5 positions of the hinge. It'll lock in place for 5 recline positions. You know, obviously the most common beach chair you see out there is the Tommy Bahama chair.
Correct.
And, you know, we laugh every time we go to the beach. We see the guy carrying 2 of them under his arm because it's not comfortable to throw on your shoulders. It's banging you in the back of the legs.
And you got to carry the one for your old lady.
Yes. And then
So
the
you got
woman
2.
is, you know, carrying a cooler or something.
A bag.
Or a backpack. So, you know, we're trying to make it everyone can carry everything they need themselves. And
I love it. I love it. I think it's genius. And how'd y'all come up with the name?
So that occurred actually on a bike ride to the beach. We had just finished watching Beach Bum, the movie with Matthew McConaughey and Jimmy Buffett, and we were kind of inspired by that movie, to be honest.
Wasn't the best movie, could have been better, but
yeah, it
provided the inspiration.
Well, what do you mean? It was the best movie ever. No, but we woke up and went to the beach the next morning after watching it, and we had previously had the idea of Bumruk. We knew we wanted to make a beach chair backpack, but we just didn't have anything to call it. So we were riding our bikes to the beach the next day, and we were kind of throwing out names, different variations of beach bum and rucksack, and we took bum from beach bum and ruck from rucksack and put them 2 together, and that was it. So
the rucksack for your bum.
I like it.
Who did the logo for you?
We found someone off of Fiverr, actually.
There you go.
We kind of more or less came up with what we wanted on our own. It's another kind of funny story.
We were running around North Palm looking for materials. We were walking into designer stores, I guess, furniture stores, looking for materials to source to make it out of. And we gave up after like a couple hours, and we went to the bar. And while we were sitting at the bar, we had these basically business cards that were sitting there. I think they were like draft beer cards that the servers put the beers on. And we just started drawing with our pens. And we were like, you know, while we were drinking, we drew several different variations of them. And then we liked one that we really liked. And
yeah, we basically from there sent it to someone on Fiverr, and they basically made like a nice file for us that we've been using ever since. And
shucks.
Yeah.
And for the listeners, like the letter R in ruck is a wave, so it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And it's legible too, so it's always hard to replace a letter. I come from a design background, and like sometimes when people say, "Can you make a letter like something else?" But you guys really pulled off. It looks great.
Yeah, it looks
Appreciate
really good. And I love the colors too. It's very Palm Beach of you.
thanks.
Yeah.
We wanted something, because since we only have one color so far, we went on something that was a little bit
stands out.
it stands out and universal. Both guys and girls can use it and not feel like they're catering to one or the other.
And what's the goal like the next year? What's the vision? What do you guys want this to become?
Yeah, so we're building our own website now on Shopify. We hope to launch that either the end of this month or early July. So we'll be able to start taking pre-orders through that while manufacturing is ongoing. And then once we have the inventory towards the end of the summer, we'll be shipping out orders as they come in. We'd like to eventually get into some local surf shops and support that. But ultimately, we'd like to focus on that e-commerce, maybe get onto Amazon and, maybe slowly introduce some other products, but focus on the Bumruk and try to get it to as many beach bums as we can.
It will. Yeah, I know it will, because I know Mike and I will get one.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%. I mean, I think of it's like a great birthday present or any sort of gift to a friend, and it's one of those things where you almost have to get 2.
Right?
It's like, oh wow, you only got one.
You can't just have one chair.
Yeah, so now it's like, okay, so
You need one for your girlfriend or your
Right,
buddy you go to
your
the beach
spouse.
with.
Exactly. Mother's Day, Father's Day, it's perfect.
yeah, because before we went live today, you guys were saying in the future maybe find a way to put a cooler on or a couple different things that you could add as attachments. So
Yeah, we've got
Be
some
interesting to
ideas
see.
in the works.
Accessories coming soon.
Absolutely.
I love it.
can you put an air conditioner on there? It's hot out here in Florida. It's summertime now.
Might have to have like a trolley you pull behind you.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
the unit on there.
Generator.
Exactly. And I like the e-commerce style because it keeps overhead low.
Yeah. We're
Right.
trying to, I mean, right now it's just the two of us doing this, and we obviously have a lot of help from partners that have kind of been helping us along the way. But yeah, we're trying to keep the overhead low and just kind of, we've been bootstrapping it from the beginning.
Yeah.
Are there any entrepreneurs in your family, or are you guys trailblazing out here?
Our grandfather was kind of an entrepreneur. He owned a trailer home, I guess, back in the day.
Trailer park.
Trailer park. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, him and
He owned a
his
trailer park.
best friend had a few different ventures off and on throughout the years, but neither of our parents
No.
are. But it's always been something I've been interested in. Having a business of my own, started selling lemonade as a little kid on the street corner, mowing lawns, walking dogs, and I always knew I wanted to have a business. Never knew what it would be, but it's
Very
been fun.
Very Gary V of you.
Yeah. And I think like the best part about this whole story is like last year sucked, obviously, but you guys channeled your energy into something positive. A lot of people dug in and became keyboard warriors and complainers, and you guys actually went out there and solved a problem, and that's really, really cool that you guys are doing positive with your free time like that.
And I think we can say that as much as this was a curse for a lot of people, it's also been a blessing for a lot. Yesterday when we had a podcast guest on, he created his business that was a dream of his because of the pandemic as well. So a lot of people are kind of shifting gears and getting more creative and having time to do what they really truly want to, and probably what they're meant to do.
Yeah, it's been a great experience, and definitely lucky that we were able to find something to kind of occupy our time and productively work our way through the pandemic. And
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know what I would be doing without Bumruk. I mean, it's just taken so much
It's
time.
cool.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, just to
spring
work
break's
the
only
other
1
way.
week long, so
But yeah,
talk about that like moment on the beach. I know it was something about that moment, right, where you guys came to it.
So it was kind of like this light bulb moment where Scott and I were just standing on the beach looking out at the ocean. I think it was around evening time, so the sun was almost setting, and we were kind of just like, it was after we had already biked to the beach, so our bums were sore from sitting on no Bumruk, and we didn't have any of our drinks with us, and we were kind of just like, you know what?
You guys were just bumming, bro.
Yeah, we were just straight up bums. We were kind of like, you know what? We need to fix this problem. Next time we go to the beach, we need something we can sit in and all of our stuff, because this is not working.
Yeah.
Well, and I can see a market for beach volleyball players, having the towel and even throwing the volleyball in there. I think this is a no-brainer for a lot of them as well.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of interest from beach volleyball players, and would love to eventually start sponsoring some of the local volleyball teams, and I think that could be a great market for it.
Well, you can like, instead of sitting on a hard bleacher,
Yes,
you
true.
could just prop that down, and now you're styling.
It's a stadium seat.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of these tournaments, the parents will have to rent chairs. There aren't stadium seats. So yeah, it'll be exciting to.
I know a few customers already.
Yeah, I remember this guy going to Jaguars games, and he had like a 10-year-old like vintage Jaguar like little half circle seat.
Jeez.
And we're like, we always were laughing at him when he walks in, but then by the end of the game, you're like,
Yeah, I wish I had that.
oh man, we're a little jealous now. Like he said, there's so many different sports and applications, and we were saying maybe hunters. So
Yeah, maybe some camo.
That's
additions.
the most. We see that all the time on our social media, especially TikTok. Someone will comment, "Make a camouflage one for hunters," and it'll get hundreds of likes. We'll be like, hunters. But
Well, new
there must be
market.
a market, yeah.
you need to make some more TikTok videos with in the not the jungle.
I'll tell
the
you,
woods.
that's also what we do, is we just kind of listen to the market, and whatever the market really portrays out there is we may take it and say yes, but if there's enough people kind of asking or saying the right things, hey, you better listen. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun hearing, what other people plan to use it for. We obviously built it for our bike rides to the beach, but
Can really be used anywhere. You need
Yeah.
a place to sit.
Yeah, and like the name isn't quite like totally beach specific. Like I think it's applicable for across the board. But let's give a shout out to Jana. I know you guys were connecting with her.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely shout out to her for putting us in touch with you guys. We'll still have to set up a time to get a shoot done with you. But yeah, thanks for putting us in touch.
Unfortunately, we know a few guys who know her, so.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to hang out with her tomorrow. But she's great people, and she does a fantastic job supporting, people in our community, people with ideas. She really highlights. She's sort of like the Palm Beach podcast out in the world.
Correct.
We love her to death, and so glad that you guys were able to connect. And it's just funny how the world works.
It is cool. And anybody you guys want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, we should give a shout out to definitely our mentor in Dallas, who's been helping us out, Beaver, Ken up in Michigan, who's been a big help with the manufacturing, all our friends and family, been a huge support,
and everyone who supported, everyone who supported the Bumruk in our journey
all
so
our
far.
backers on Indiegogo.
Thank you so much.
Heck yeah, and clearly Grandpa too.
Yes.
Yeah, he had some inspiration, I can tell. Yeah, it's cool. Thank you guys again for coming on the show, and hey, Ubuntu.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Yo! Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Palm Beach Podcast. If you'd like to give back and help our show grow, please learn about ways to give and donate at thepalmbeachpodcast.com.